Welcome to r/relationship advice, where OP gets raided by a SWAT team even though he is completely innocent and it seems like his ex-girlfriend might have tipped them off. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, "My 29 male girlfriend 24 female tried to throw me under the bus when the police searched my house." First, I would like to start with some background. My girlfriend and I have been in a relationship for a bit over a year. She stays at my house about 75% of the time. We've had no major problems before this point. On Saturday night, we were watching TV in the living room and suddenly there was loud pounding and shouting at the front door. My immediate reaction was to call the police, but after a look out of the curtains, I found that it was the police. At this point, I was extremely confused. I don't sell, manufacture or use drugs. I have no firearms in the house. I do nothing illegal online. I don't even pirate Game of Thrones. I had no idea why they might have a reason to be knocking on my door on a Saturday night. I opened the door and they immediately asked for permission to search the premises. I asked why they would think that was necessary and they wouldn't answer. In turn, I refused to give them permission. My girlfriend repeatedly said I should cooperate. I said no and told them to show me a warrant if they want to enter the house. They then informed me that they had probable cause and were searching my place no matter what I thought about the situation, and that their asking was only a formality. The first thing they did after entering my house was pull my girlfriend and I into separate rooms and begin questioning us. I kept demanding that they show me a warrant, but apparently warrants are not even a thing anymore because probable cause can be literally anything when your local police department is backwater and crappy enough. I refused to answer any questions. I told them I wanted a lawyer if I was under arrest. I repeated that I did not consent to any searches of my property and repeatedly asked what their probable cause was, that there was nothing readily apparent, thank you Breaking Bad, and that they had no right to strip me of my privacy. My girlfriend, on the other hand, talked a lot. I did not hear much because she was in the next room, but I overheard her say this.
"You should check the backyard shed. I've never been in there before and I cannot say what's in it."
At the time I could only think, what the F is she doing? Well, the police checked the shed and found nothing. Again, I'm not a criminal, and an hour plus hundreds of questions later left. At that point I asked why in the world she would try to help them find criminal activity in my house, and she could only answer that she panicked and didn't know what to do. I don't need legal advice. My mother is a paralegal and knows a lot of good attorneys. She's furious about the police conduct and she does not even know what my girlfriend said to them yet. I am incredibly angry at my girlfriend for saying something so unbelievably moronic, but all she can respond to me with is,
"I panicked and didn't know what to do."
What I need more than anything is another perspective on why a person would throw their SO under the bus like that. Does this seem like something that can be worked through, or is this just a huge red flag? And a user in the comments said, "I am fairly certain probable cause does not cover the search of a home. A warrant is surely necessary. Your PD sounds like a bunch of animals." And guys, I have to say, I was also under the impression that you always need a warrant to search someone's home and that probable cause itself is not enough. If someone knows more about this topic, please let us know in the comments. And furthermore, I would love to hear, what do you think was the girlfriend's intention behind all of this? Let us know about your theories in the comments. And the next one is an update to the police raid story. Hey everyone, due to legal reasons and other life obligations, I decided against updating my opening post until it was safe to do so. I got a lot of incredibly useful information and advice from it, and for that I am truly grateful. I will link that post below, but in lieu of the new rules, I have created a new account for this update. I will respond to this with my old one just to verify my identity. Number 1, my girlfriend and I aged a year. I am now 30 and she's now 25. This was about as much as could be expected. Number 2, the tip that the police received did not come from my girlfriend. This was a giant cluster F. About a year before I met my current girlfriend, I was kind of seeing a 35-year-old woman. Our relationship was primarily physical in nature, but she wanted me to drop everything and move in with her. Just about everyone I knew was telling me that there was something off about her, but I thought they were judging her for her age. Then, one night when we had a fight, she chugged half a bottle of cognac and I had to call an ambulance because she was completely unresponsive. I ghosted her after this and had to ignore her pounding on my door several times. I went to the police station about a week after they raided me to file a formal complaint. I had consulted a lawyer and he advised me that it would be a good first step if I were going to take legal action. When I filed the complaint, I tried to get information on who falsely accused me of a crime that warranted a raid without a warrant, but they would not budge. My lawyer told me as much. 6 months after the raid, I heard through the grapevine that my ex-FWB/girlfriend called the police to inform them that I was cooking, a very bad drug in my basement that might be related to the TV show Breaking Bad. I only learned about this because a mutual friend who my ex had recently confided in spilled the beans. I figured out soon thereafter that she had seen me with my current girlfriend somewhere and decided I must have been cheating on her when we were still together a year earlier, so she exacted her revenge by getting me swatted. I went to the police station to file a report against her, but the person at the front desk essentially laughed me out of the building. When I consulted my lawyer, he told me that it was pointless to even bother, maybe with a better PD and in a better city. Number 3, I was advised against trying to sue the PD. More specifically, my lawyer told me that I could sue if I wanted, but that if he were me, he wouldn't. When I asked why, he said that usually if you can prove the unwarranted search were racially motivated / based on prejudice or corruption, you could possibly win. But the police screwing the pooch was generally a weak reason. Again, maybe against a better PD in a less backwards region. Number 4, my girlfriend talked because of previous bad experiences. I forgave my girlfriend for over-talking to the police. Many people in the original post were entirely pitchforks up / even suggesting that she called the police, and I understand why. Some people went kind of over the line and suggested that she may have planted evidence. But some were explaining that there are people who simply freeze up with the police. Knowing her, I thought this must be the case. Months after the incident, my girlfriend sat me down and let out that a police officer had molested her when she was in her teens during a routine traffic stop. He decided she needed to be searched and used it as an excuse to feel her up. I was horrified. Before you ask, yes, I received her permission to post this detail honestly, and when you read this post, I love you so much. Number 5, we moved. We moved out of Butt-F-ville. We live in a larger city now, and coincidentally my parents also had reason to move here too. Her parents are originally from elsewhere in the country, but we are closer to them now too. One last little happy note is that we are getting married next year, and we are both incredibly excited about starting our lives together. And I gotta admit guys, something about small town police departments in the US, especially in very rural areas, seems sort of scary to me. What experiences did you have with police in very small towns? Did you have any positive or negative experiences? Let us know in the comments. And while you're at it, please don't forget to also post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. This helps my channel out tremendously. Thank you so much in advance. And the next one is titled, My 40 male ex-wife, 40 female, wants me to be with her in her last days. Backstory, I met my ex when we were both 10. She is my twin sister's best friend, so we've always been kind of a trio growing up. We started dating at 14 and got married at 23. Things got ugly though, because 5 years after getting married, she told me she had a month-long affair with her coworker. Apparently, the guilt was too much for her, so she confessed. We tried to work through it, but after a few months of trying, I knew that despite the fact that I loved her, I could not trust her anymore. She told me she still loved me and that she would wait for me and prove that I was the only one. I wanted to believe her, but you know, some things just cannot be fixed. We never had kids. Indeed, some things just cannot be fixed. Amen. Anyway, 3 years after the divorce, I met my now wife, 38 female, and we got married 2 years after dating. She is everything I could ever dream of in a wife and more. My ex, as my sister told me, they are still besties, never really recovered. She quit her job and is now working in a church. Throughout my relationship with my wife, she kept trying to get back together, and on the day of my wedding, she told me she still loved me and would love no one else. She said this was the last time she would bother me, but that she will wait for however long it took. Apparently she is honest in that regard, at least because my sister says she's never been with anyone since. So here is what happened recently. My wife and I, married for 7 years now, have 2 kids, 7 female and 3 male. My sister came over with her own kids so the cousins could play. While my wife was out to pick up lunch, my sister sat me down and told me the situation about my ex. Apparently, she only has less than 6 months to live. She refused treatment and wants to live the last few months to the fullest. I guess that is why her and my sister really went out of their way to travel despite the pandemic. One thing on her bucket list though was that she wanted to feel like my wife again. No sex, no kissing, she just wanted me to be around the house. She still lives in the house we lived in again and maybe hold her from time to time. I told her I wouldn't do that because that was pretty much emotionally cheating. My sister kept arguing and begging me to at least see her and hear her out. We kept arguing, no screaming, the kids were in the next room with her older daughter, till my wife came back. My sister told her the whole story, and while she looked upset, she said she understood where my ex was coming from. When my sister left, my wife and I talked about it. My wife knows everything that happened in the past with my ex. She says while she is not thrilled about the idea, she won't get upset if I decided to see her on a regular basis. My wife is literally the best thing that ever happened to me, and I love her more than anyone. She makes me happier than I've ever been in my life, even in the good times with my ex. She knows that I won't cheat. I also have zero romantic feelings for my ex, so there's nothing lingering there. I don't hate her or anything, it is just that the love I had for her has long since died. After thinking about it for a while, I am honestly 50-50 about it. I know I don't owe her anything, but I feel like I might regret not seeing her at least one more time, since the last time I saw her was on my wedding day, and that was not a good encounter for either of us, unless you count the times I occasionally see her in the store or something. I honestly feel like, despite what she did, she still deserves to go with some peace. On the other hand, I am not entirely sure if this might potentially affect our marriage. My wife says she's okay with it, and I believe her, but I just cannot be sure that she will feel the same way after it happens. I don't want anything to jeopardize what I have right now, no matter what. I'm not too thrilled about going myself, to be honest. Any advice? What should I do? Edit, just wanna add that if I ever do this, I won't be acting like a husband or anything inappropriate like that. I'm just gonna see her and talk for a bit. My sister says that me just being there and sharing a meal with her would be more than enough for her to feel like we were married again. And a user in the comments said, just my opinion, but I wouldn't do it. There's plenty of risk and little possible reward. If you want to show goodwill towards your ex, run errands for her, or show support in some other way. Have a meal sometime with her, with your wife present. You don't owe anything to your ex, so these gestures are more than you are obliged to do. In my opinion, this scheme would be playing with fire with regards to your current marriage. And another person gave this advice. OP, I really feel sad for your ex. The last 12 years must be full of sadness and regret for her, all of that because of one stupid decision on her part without giving much thought to the consequences that might arise from this decision. That being said, this is her dying wish, so what I'm going to say is going to sound heartless, but please hear me out. Your wife sounds like an angel and very mature. I am really happy to hear that she and you guys feel very secure in your relationship with each other, that you feel comfortable enough to bring this up with her and for her to grant this. I would say that a lot of families strive for this kind of relationship. Even though you have no feelings for your ex, this still has the potential of causing some strain in your marriage with repercussions that may go on for a long time. Your ex may not be around, but you will be around to bear the brunt of that decision. So I would strongly urge you to consider all the possibilities and potential consequences of this decision, unlike what your ex did. If you really want, you can certainly consider running errands for her and/or meeting her often in public places like parks during the day. I find it amusing that she's the one who cheated and you are the one to have moved out, and she's the one who ended up keeping the house that you both bought. And now she wants to play house husband and wife with you in that same house. She expects you and your wife to be okay with it? I understand that you now have no feelings towards your ex, and I would say that you are a better person than I am for that. So guys, I am really curious, what do you think about this story? Should the OP potentially jeopardize his marriage, his current marriage, by granting his cheating ex-wife her dying wish? Let us know what you think in the comments. I gotta say, this is definitely a very complex and complicated story. If I were the OP, I would probably not stay in the house alone with the ex-wife. However, as someone mentioned in the comments, maybe running errands for her or meeting her in public places would be okay, I guess. Update to the dying ex-wife story. Quick recap, my ex-wife, who I have known since I was 10, cheated on me but is now dying and wants me to be around before she dies. It has been almost 3 weeks since I have posted and a lot has happened since. I got some solid advice from a lot of you guys, especially some who messaged me their personal experiences. I would like to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. So here is what happened. As many of you guys suggested, I talked to my wife. We had a long discussion about the whole situation and I assured her that no matter what, she is and always will be my first priority. I also assured her that while I wanted to say my goodbye, I would never act like her husband. It would be more like me seeing a childhood friend or something like that. I also told her I would never spend the night, nor would I be alone with her. She was more comfortable after our talk and was pretty okay with the idea of me seeing my ex again. As you guys guessed, she really felt like she was forced into being okay with it when my sister asked, but this time she really was okay. So I talked to my sister, and after a long heated discussion about what my role would be in the visit, she agreed to the boundaries my wife and I set. A week later, my sister and I came over to our old marital home. It was surreal because while the emotions from years before came back to me, I did not feel any sadness nor hatred or anything negative. I saw my ex who was waiting for us in the living room and she cried when I walked in. Most of you suggested she was faking it, but while she was still strong, you could tell almost immediately something was wrong with her. I indulged her with a hug and we talked for a few hours while my sister made lunch. I showed her pictures of my kids and told her stories about what they are like. Honestly, I didn't know how I would react after I saw her again, but it just feels like seeing an old friend you have not seen in a long time. There was no hate or anything like that. I walked around the house and it was pretty much the way it was when I left over a decade ago. I'm not really sure how I feel about our wedding photos still framed and pictures of us still all over the house, but it was not really my place to say anything. The three of us had lunch and played board games all afternoon. It honestly felt like we were back to when we were kids and the three of us would hang out together. It was nice. I left at around 6. She was sad, but she understood. When I hugged her goodbye, she whispered "I love you" to me, but then said how she is happy I was able to find the happiness she couldn't give me. That part got to me, to be honest, and I was fighting back tears. I told her I would see her again soon and she asked if I could bring my kids next time. I told her I would and left to pick up dinner for my family. I told my wife everything that happened and she was quite happy about the outcome. I guess it helped that I brought home her favorite food, but she also agreed to let me bring the kids next time. Overall, it was a great experience seeing her again. I feel like I needed that and would have regretted not doing so. Again, I would like to thank everyone who gave me advice. Also, please don't roast my ex too much. She made a mistake and paid the price, but it does not mean she is an evil person. This will be my last update. Thank you very much, Reddit. And the next one is actually from r/am_I_the_a-hole, but the update post switched over to relationship advice. It is titled, "Am I the a-hole? I blew up at my parents for using my inheritance to pay off student loans." Hello everybody, I shall try to condense this story as much as I can. My grandparents have both passed away, and as a final wish they told my uncle that each grandchild should receive $20,000. None of their children were supposed to receive any money due to family drama. There was no written will, it was verbal, and my uncle told the grandchildren about this and our respective parents. My uncle is an all-around good guy and the only uncle I like from that side of the family. He is a trustworthy guy. My grandparents only had 3 grandchildren and I am the oldest. I am in my late 20s, brother is in early 20s and cousin is still below 12. Okay, background info. I took out a student loan of $23,000 to pay for university back in 2015 and I am still paying it off slowly. My mom is handling the payment, she has helped me pay for it when I was still in university. My dad did not want to help with loans at all, I took the loan out with the help of previously mentioned uncle as a guarantor. Recently I jokingly asked my brother about the money and he said that he already received it, I on the other hand haven't. I asked my parents about it and they told me that they received the money from my uncle who was handling the money and used it to pay off my student loans. I of course was furious, I felt that the money was mine and not theirs to decide what to do with it. I was so upset and said that they went behind my back and did not even tell me that my uncle has given me the money yet. The money was meant for me and not for them. They shouldn't even have the right to touch it. I don't even have the remaining money left over after paying off the loan. My dad says that I should be grateful that I have enough money to pay off a student loan and thinks that I am being ridiculous. He said that I was probably going to pay off the loans anyway, so why should I be upset? I blew up at him and told him that he had no right to take my money and decide what to do with it. I could have blown it all on whatever I wanted to, and he does not have a say in what I choose to do with it at all. He was so angry that he left. My mom says that I'm getting angry at something so stupid, so am I the a-hole? And guys, please let us know in the comments if you think OP is the a-hole here or not. Edit at info because I was not clear in my explanation, sorry about that. When I say that my mom is handling the payment, I mean that now I give her the money I earn now to pay it off. My mom helped me with paying for it during uni. When whatever I earned from my PT job was not enough, she would help me add to it. I am from an Asian household and she demands to be in charge on this loan up till now because she wants to be in the know about everything regarding my finances. Also, I was already going to use the money to pay off my student loans. I was not expecting to keep the money. I had about 10k left to pay and my dad took the inheritance to pay off my loan, but I have not received the remainder. I am grateful to have help to pay off my loans, please don't think that I am not. Sorry about it not being clear, still upset about my grandparents, I was emotional when I typed this. And a user in the comments said, not the a-hole, talk to a lawyer and double check on those loans. If they had been paid off, you would have received documentation stating so. And the next one is titled, Update, blew up at my parents for using my inheritance to pay off my student loans. Hey everybody, just thought I would make a small update. I am very grateful for the comments and advice and a lot has transpired since I posted that. So I went to the bank and found out that they did not use my inheritance to pay off the remainder of my loans. They kept it. My uncle is deeply sorry for not passing me the money straight and going to my parents instead. He has hired a lawyer and is ready to sue if they don't return the money ASAP. My parents obviously were not happy about this and they threw a huge fit. I was so enraged that for the first time in a long time I stood up to their abuse. I told them that they had stolen the money from me and I want it back. I also wanted them out of my business. Honestly, it felt so good getting my voice back. All these years I was just screamed at and emotionally abused into agreeing to anything they wanted me to do. I also found out that they were planning to have me put in an arranged marriage with someone from their home country whom I've never met before. I suspect that is the reason why they stole my inheritance. It was probably meant for dowry. Insane. I told them that there was no way in hell that I was going to go through with it. I found a room in an apartment with a lovely old couple which I will be renting. My parents don't know my address, no one knows my address, my parents are blocked on my phone as well. They can only contact me through my uncle. I had to move quietly when my parents were not at home, so I left a few things behind that I suspect they will either throw away or try to sell. I'm just grateful to be out of that hellhole. I took all the necessary documents and things important to me, so I know that I will be fine. Things are replaceable anyway. I'm just so very happy to say that I have full control of my finances and I am finally free. And guys, unfortunately we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and if you haven't already, please also go to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where I upload exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 a month. This is a great way to support me in case you are interested, and the chance for me to become independent from YouTube revenue. Thank you so much for watching, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.